Today I want to work on some projects to get some projects finished. So I have really been in this mood that I want to finish projects. So today I am going to do some basting, and I use pins to baste my quilts, and I only have enough pins to baste about 2 quilts. Sometimes if I do like baby quilts, I might get away with more, like 3 quilts, but typically on average I've only ever basted 2 quilts at a time. So today that's what I want to do. I want to baste 2 quilts. So I have this quilt top here. It was just, I took 2 charm packs and sewed them all together, and I made this charm pack quilt. This will be a baby quilt. So this is the quilt top, and then I chose this fabric to be my backing. Whoops, let me show you like this. So this is a lot of fabric here. I do need to piece the backing and then baste this quilt up. Okay, the next quilt I want to baste is this Paddy Wack quilt that I made for a dog. And I have the back. The back was actually pieced, so you can see like the stripes in the back here. And on this one, I actually have the binding made. So I don't have the binding, whoops, I don't have the binding made for this one. But this one, the binding's made. So I just love this plaid. And I had enough of it. So I'm kind of like, why not? Just use what I have, and then I didn't have to go fabric shopping. And I do enjoy using my stash. So my plan today is to take these 2 quilt tops and to baste them. And I just want to share that process with you. So I'm going to baste these up, and I will show you the process as I go. And if I get these basted and have some time, I hope to machine quilt them on my home machine. So if I get to quilting them, I will share that as well. But my goal today at least is to get the basting done. So we'll see what I get done and then what I can put in this video and share with you guys. All right, I got 1 quilt basted. So this is that Paddy Wack quilt pattern by Villa Rosa. And now it's ready for quilting. And I got the second quilt basted. So this is a baby quilt, and it is all basted up. So I wanted to lay both these quilts out for you. I decided to just lay them on my kitchen floor here. I just wanted to say that these are both small quilts, so I think they just went super fast with the basting process. This one is 2, again, it's 2 charm packs, and I just sewed them together, just a simple patchwork. So this will be a baby quilt. And then I backed it with some yardage. And then this one is the Paddy Wack quilt pattern by Villa Rosa, just one of those pattern cards. And what do I want to tell you about this one? I pieced the back. So on this one, you can see the 3 sections. So I pieced it using fabric that I had. And then I made the binding out of fabric I had as well. So this, I had these 2 charm packs, so I decided to sew them up for a baby quilt, and then I put this yardage on the back, and I had this as well. So I am going to quilt these up. So for both of these, I'm planning on using a straight line quilting method, and I just want to sew through the diagonal on all these blocks going both ways, and then it will create X's in all of the blocks. And on this one, I think I'm just going to follow the strips and do straight line quilting that way. I don't want to do like vertical and horizontal because I don't want to sew over those dog bones. But I'm just going to do straight line where I can, and then on the diagonal here. So straight line quilting on both of those, and I will share that process with you. I have my sewing machine all set up and ready to go. So I am going to be using my Baby Lock sewing machine, and this will be the first time that I am machine quilting on the Baby Lock. My plan is to put my presser foot on this seam here and do a stitch, and then probably go on the opposite side and do a stitch, then a stitch here and a stitch here. And that's what I want to do. I know that's probably not going to be a ton of quilting on this quilt, so because I'll have this huge area that's not quilted up here, but I think I might also run like 1 or 2 lines up here. I'm not sure. I am going to start with, I think my threads are tangled and I can see them. Oh, here we go. So I'm just going to start with that. I just have to find a starting point. And when I start quilting, I usually like to start off in the batting a few stitches. Again, I increase my stitch length to a 4. I'm just going to stop for a minute and look at my stitches. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It looks so good. Okay. And where I placed, whoops, sorry about the camera shaking. Where I placed my pins, I may not have to remove them. And that was something I was thinking about as I was pinning. See, on this one, the stitch will come pretty close to this dog bone, which that's okay. Oh, here's a piece of hair. When I find my hair, I just put it in my thread catcher. Oh yeah, see, it just come like right here, so. That one's a little close. Oh, it might be okay. Okay, this guy is a little close. And I just kind of smooth out my fabric as I go. Oh yeah, this one will definitely come over the bone. See, some of this I didn't really plan out or think about, and that's okay. I'm okay with it. I think it's still gonna be an adorable quilt. Like, I'm so excited about this quilt. Okay, so then I'm just going to take it over here and cut it with my thread cutter. And that's what that one looks like, catching it on the edge of the bone. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go back and do a stitch here and then here and here and continue down the quilt. And then when I get done with that, I think I'll come back to the edges, like the top and the bottom. And I'll probably do like 1 row of stitching there to hold it in place, maybe even 2. Probably 2, because that first one might be covered up with the binding. So I'll probably do 1 and then place my presser foot next to that line and do another line of stitching. So let me speed up this video and I will be right back and share when I get all the way done. All the quilting is done on this quilt, so I just did straight line quilting. You can see there is a lot of space that isn't quilted, but I'm just calling it good. I think it's just gonna be for a dog, and I don't know. I guess if it did start falling apart, I could try fixing it. But there it is, all quilted up. Let me show you the back. So on the back, you can see a little bit of the stitching. I pieced the back. So I had this fabric on hand and I pieced it. And then once again, this middle plaid will be the binding on this one. All right, I have my quilt here. This is the back and this is the front, the charm squares. I like to start, when I'm doing a diagonal, I kind of like to start on like one corner of the quilt and go all the way down for my diagonal. So that's my plan. Let me push this back. So I'm just gonna sew a little bit and then I'll speed it up for you. And I usually like to start off my project a little bit too. So I am just holding my fabric down and I'm just trying to eyeball this corner right here. So I'll just go to the corner with my needle. And as I go, I just slowly stop and take out some pins so I can see as I travel, this pin will be in the way next. So I just try to hold this quilt in my lap, kind of move everything, smooth out the lumps and bumps. I'm watching my needle and watching it travel to this next corner. Sometimes I'm right on, sometimes I'm not. And then I just kind of push or guide the quilt as it goes. I don't know, some people would say don't push, but and then over here, I kind of bunch it up and then I try to slowly like roll it as I think about it. I feel like every time I quilt a quilt, I kind of have to remember, like, remind myself, I guess, of what I'm doing, because I feel like sometimes it really is a long time since I've quilted up a quilt. I make these quilt tops and I just sew them and then set them on my shelf, and then I don't get around to quilting them. But this one is going to be a baby quilt. It's going to be a gift, so I have kind of a deadline in my mind when I'd like to get it to the mama. So that's why I'm quilting some of these quilts up, because I feel like I have some deadlines. So on this quilt, I did go back and cut off some of the excess batting. I felt like it was just so bulky and it was really driving me nuts. So you can see I didn't leave a lot of batting on the edge here, and that was on purpose. And then, I do have a thread cutter, but I've been just cutting everything with my scissors. Okay, so what I was gonna say is, yeah, I cut off the batting there. So you can see there's not a lot of batting on the edge here. And then also when I am quilting, I quilt off into the batting. So instead of back stitching, I just quilt off my project a few stitches. And I feel like in a way it acts as a back stitch. And then my binding will go over here along the edge here. And so it kind of locks in those stitches as well. So, okay, I'm just going to continue on, but let me show you what that looks like. So you can see that diagonal right there. And I'll just quilt on, or continue quilting all the diagonals going this way, and then once I'm all done, I'll turn the quilt and I'll go the opposite way. So let me speed that up for you. I finished quilting this baby quilt, and I did have to do some seam ripping, so it took me a little bit longer than I thought it would. But I'm really happy with it. So you can see the X's through there. Just a super fast way to quilt it, but I think it's classic. So let me show you the back. Here is the back. And I just love how it looks. I love all the quiltiness. And then once it's washed, all this will like really puff up. So really happy with it, super happy with it. Here are both of those quilts. And I laid them out so you could see the back. So you have your front patchwork in the back, and then the dog bones in the back. And I'm super happy that I was able to get them basted and quilted today. So now all that's left is binding. It has been a few days, and I wanted to share that I was able to finish these quilts 100%. I put the binding on them, but here they are, super happy with them. The bindings are so fun. So cute. I think they turned out really cute. I'm really happy with them. And I'm happy to have 2 more quilts finished and off my list. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.